Hey Bougie Club, happy Sunday. Coming on a little early. I got tired of waiting. Today is our Bougie-versary. It is 4 years of us first making acquaintance from the viral pool party video, which I'm sure is probably coming up in your memories. And this time last week, I was looking forward to today. But today, I join you guys with a heart as heavy as it was on the day that I made that video, because, hey, Miss Tracy, 4 years ago, as a country, as a nation, as a people, we were sitting in a similar position. And when I made the video, I was crying out to the village for the sake of our children. But today, my question is to the community as a whole, for the sake of the community. I don't pretend to bury my head in the sand. I don't pretend not to understand the pain and the outrage and the upset that is being displayed, but I can't do anything about that. What I can offer you is an opportunity to ask yourself, what is my responsibility? And I'm gonna ask you to look at responsibility in a different way that you may not have looked at responsibility before. One of my favorite quotes is, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." Those are the words of Dr. Martin Luther King. And right now, as a country, as a nation, as a people, as humans, we have to ask ourselves, where are we going to stand in this time of challenge and controversy? Because we all have a responsibility. And when I say responsibility, I'm talking about our ability to respond. How are we going to respond? Are we going to respond from a place of love, or are we going to respond from a place of emotion that has driven this country into division and continued divisiveness for hundreds of years? Or are we going to respond to each other in a place of love? Please don't get it confused. I am upset. I understand. I have sons. I have nephews. I have men that I have loved. I have brothers. I get it, but I'm asking you, how will you respond? You have an ability to respond. You have a responsibility. You have the ability to respond, and I'm asking you, in your response, are you responding from a place of love in your words? Are you responding from a place of love in your actions? Are you responding from a place of love in your thoughts and your ideas and your perception and your position? Because all of us matter. And until we can start looking at each other as humans, that's the problem. We're not seeing each other as humans. And as humans, I know that we have an ability to respond in love. Let me break it down to you. When you stub your toe on a bed in the middle of the night, your hand does not argue with your foot for not paying attention. Your hand does not blame your foot for stubbing itself on the bed. Your hand comes to the comfort and the aid of your foot, because your foot is connected to your body. And as your hand being part of your body, it responds from a place of love, from a place to comfort. And as a nation and as a people, until we can respond to the foot that gets stubbed with the same love and care as the hand, we're forever going to be divided. This is not a black issue. It's not a white issue. It's not an American issue. It's a human issue. We are all human beings, and that's the problem. We're not looking at each other as human beings. And I say that because I've had to learn that over the years. When you all met me, I was enraged. I was upset. I was mad. I was cussing. But I was not responding from a place of love. I was not. I'm just gonna be honest. I can't call nobody on the carpet but myself. 4 years ago, that was not my position. But through meeting all of you and having the awesome privilege of being able to have colorless conversations on this platform, I've realized that we have to operate from a place of love. We have to operate from a place of seeing each other as humans. I've had so many profound conversations in my inbox from people of all different colors, ethnicities, nationalities, from different countries, about questions that they have and dialogues that they really want to start, but they're afraid because they don't know how someone will respond. And so I'm going to ask you, will you use your ability to respond? Will you be responsible? Will you use your responsibility in a way to respond to love? I was on my timeline and somebody posted a screenshot that one of their friends on their timeline who was white posted something, and her response was, I'm deleting her, I'm unfriending her. But now, the thing that the lady posted was a valid question. There was no lies, there was no malice, there was no disrespect, because she did not have the ability to respond from a place of love and see the human perspective. Her first response was to shut down the dialogue. We cannot continue to shut down the dialogue. We cannot continue not to see other people's perspective. That is the problem. We are human beings, and we're more alike than we are different. So I'm asking you, will you take responsibility for your ability to respond? We are humans, you guys. And not everybody is bad. Not all black people are bad. Not all white people are bad. Not all Mexican people are bad. We are people. We are people who are shaped by our experiences, and our experiences are different. We can all be looking at the same thing and see something completely different, and we have to respect other people's perspectives because our perspectives are shaped by a sum total of our experience. And sometimes you cannot relate to an experience, but I know you can relate to my analogy of the foot. The foot cannot see in the dark, the eyes can. So the eyes have to send signals to the brain, which deals with depth perception. We're all working together, you guys. We're not a separated people. That's the problem. We have to come together and have colorless conversations. Bougie Club, I have Bougie Club members with Confederate flags as their profile pictures. But that does not keep that individual from checking on me if they haven't heard from me in a while. That doesn't keep that person from making sure that I'm okay. That doesn't keep me from loving that person back, even though I fully understand what the Confederate flag represents. How will you respond? I fully embrace my responsibility as a black woman to represent many people who look like me that I'll never meet. And how I respond, I understand it determines how someone else will respond to someone who looks like me. And I have the ability in my response to change the perception of my people based on how I respond. And it wasn't until that video went viral that I truly realized that, because what you all don't know that I didn't share with you, there were plenty of media outlets in my inbox offering me money to share that video, offering me opportunities to get on the news and on other viral things, but I refused to let them share it because I became convicted in my responsibility. My ability to respond as a black woman, as a black mother, as a woman who had made a video out of anger and upset. There was repercussions to how I responded. I had to take responsibilities from not being responsible in how I responded in that video. Even though the gist of my video was that the village needed to stand up, I said I was gonna lay people's children down. That's what I said. That's why people were clicking. That's why that video went viral. That's why there were over 10 million views on that video, and I was wrong. I was all the way wrong. And I tried to recall the video, and Robin, if she on here, she can attest to that. But in the morning when I decided to delete it, it was too late. It had already gone viral. It had already reached 1 million views. And that's what I want to get you to understand. You have to be responsible in your actions before you act, because you can't take it back. There's no coming back. It was too late. It had already took hold. And the thing that pained me the most was people who were responding, and their ability to respond didn't know me, but all they could judge me off of was my actions. All they could judge me off of was the words that I was saying, because they had no insight into who I was as a person and my heart. When you all started following me, all you saw was the video. Over the last 4 years, you've got to learn who I was, what my values are, where my compassion lies, where my responsibility lies. But I was fortunate. Everybody's not given that opportunity. So I'm going to ask you, how will you respond today, tomorrow, moving forward? When the opportunity presents itself, it does not matter where you stand in comfort and convenience. Your true measure of who you are, who your character is where you stand in times of challenge and controversy. So I'm going to encourage you to be responsible in your response. How will you respond the next time you see a post that you don't like? Will you respond from a place of love and seeking understanding? Or will you continue to do the same old, same old? Because see, we can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. I'm sorry. Because 4 years ago, my people were on bridges marching for the same reason. In 2017 on 10/31, we were marching. We were protesting. And 4 years later, on 5/31, we still doing the same thing, expecting different results. The conversation is the change that needs to happen. The conversation is the change that need to happen. And black people, we got to, I love y'all with all my heart. I fight for you all daily, but we have to have conversations in our own house. Because see, not finna say something, I probably lose all of y'all, but somebody got to speak the truth. Ask yourself, black people, are you a racist? I'm not saying that your reason might not be valid. I'm not saying it may not be justified. I live in a building where they don't really want me here. Most of my neighbors is cool, but all of them ain't. My children get followed in a building that I pay $2,150 for rent. Do you hear me? Now, to some of y'all, that might not be a whole lot of money, but that's a lot of money. You spending over $2,000 to rest your head somewhere, and you got your neighbors following you in the building because they don't think you belong here. Don't misunderstand. I understand where it's coming from. It's a sign on the side of my building that I didn't recognize when I first moved in. It said the lofts. It's not for everyone. What the fuck does that mean? But you see, that's my anger. And I didn't exercise my ability to respond. So I understand, black people, when you get to thinking about the injustices and how we're treated, how it can make that thing rise up in you. But it took me exercising my responsibility to reach out to one of my neighbors and ask why. Why is it that every time my daughter come home, somebody trying to follow her in the building? And they're like, Jay, well, you know, we don't see her that often, so maybe they just don't know she belong in here. Now, in my ability to respond, and I think at it logically, that kind of makes sense. Like, they don't see her. Her response was, just have her show them the key fob and they'll know she belongs here. But it took me coming out of my anger, that's still real, that's still valid, that still exists, and having a dialogue and a conversation with one of my neighbors that didn't look like me to try to understand why my neighbors were treating my children like that. It makes perfect sense. We live in a secure building. You're not supposed to have access to this building unless somebody lets you in. So if you're piggybacking off of somebody else and they don't know who you are, it makes sense that they will question if you're supposed to be here. Now, mind you, I got to use my logical hat because even when I go on a military base, it's illegal for you to piggyback. Like, they're going to shut the door and make you use your badge to come in. But I can't ignore the experiences that I've experienced in this country that shape my views and my perception, that makes the first thing that comes to my mind be these are white people doing some type of injustice towards me. And I'm not saying they were or they weren't, but in having a conversation, I can appreciate their perspective, because overall that person was just trying to make sure that the building was safe. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we have an ability to respond, and I understand the anger. I understand why we're upset. I do. But what I'm saying is at some point we've got to do something different. And it's your responsibility to open up the dialogues, to start having conversations, because there is more similarities and differences. And the first thing we have to do is see each other as humans. It doesn't matter what you look like. You like my toe. If you hurt, I hurt. I don't care what color you are. The human in me can feel your pain. And until we can get to the point where we understand we toes, hands, feet, knees, elbows, eyeballs, and we all connected to one body, we're going to continue to have the same issue. We're going to continue to have the same issue. So I'm challenging you to change how you respond. You have a responsibility. How will you respond? Burning up stuff is not the answer. It's not. You guys, we got to look at this for what it is. We are a nation that is crumbling before our very eyes. We just spent 2 months indoors with COVID. Businesses are struggling to stay open to keep people employed, and these same businesses are being burnt to the ground. They already didn't know how they were going to recover from COVID. How are they going to come back from this? Where's the money coming from? We have a responsibility to respond to each other as humans from a place of love. And it can only start with you. You have to love your neighbor as yourself. You have to practice empathy. You have to put yourself in somebody's shoes. You have to understand we are all connected. We may not look alike, and that's okay. This finger don't look like this finger, but they both belong on hands on my body. And one is just as important as the other. Even though I might be able to live without my pinky, guess what? I don't want to lose it. I came here with it and I want to keep it. Matter of fact, I came here with extra digits, and somebody decided that I should not have 6 fingers on one hand and cut them off, because I was different. So what I'm saying is, y'all, we all connected. We're all human beings, no matter where neighborhood we live in, no matter what color our skin is, no matter what our voices sound like, no matter what our faces look like, no matter what our bodies look like, we are all human beings, and we have to start responding to each other from a place of love. You have a responsibility. You have the ability to decide how you respond to another human being. And Bougie Club, for our 4th anniversary, I am asking you, would you please consider to respond to other human beings from a place of love? That is your responsibility. I'm asking you to take charge and control of your responsibility. And I see you, Deanna, you said you tired of people telling us how to react, especially when we've hit. I get all of that. But we're not doing anything different. We're in a perpetual cycle. So it has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. And it can only start with you. You gonna do what you gonna do. And whatever you feel like you need to do, guess what? That's your responsibility. That's your ability to respond. What I'm saying is, I'm not responding that way. I'm going to continue to reach out to people from a place of love, because I know when I respond from a place of love, it works. I remember being 20 years old, working as a nursing assistant and writing someone's vital signs on my hand, and the white man telling me, why you writing on your hand with black ink? You ain't going to be able to see it. He told me that. That same man told me he didn't want no nigga taking care of him. He did. And when I showed him my hand with the black ink, he was astonished that he could read. Like nothing, he did not know that I could read black ink on brown skin. That same man, as he kept coming back to subsequent visits to the hospital, start requesting me. Because even though he was nasty to me, I still treated him with love. I still took care of him as a patient. And it ended up being I became his personal caretaker. And I was the first black person that ever stepped foot on his land. He was a real deal racist. But my ability to respond to him from a place of love, this little black face you see, ended up being the face that was with him when he took his last breath by his request. Because I responded from a place of love. I could have been in my feelings. I could have snapped back. I could have said all of the things that I may have really wanted to say. But I know that when you respond from a place of love, it changes things. So for all of you all toting Bibles, which now I'm going back to my original issue from the first viral video. If you toting Bibles and you quoting scriptures, you got to respond from a place of love. It don't matter how many times they slap you on your cheek, how many times you stub your toe, your hand still needs to be responding from a place of love. Period. That's the only way we gonna fix it. To see your neighbor as yourself. I'm not pretending like I don't understand why people mad. I get it. But you got to take a seat at the table. You got to start having conversations. It was a whole bunch of people that didn't understand why I went to the White House. But you know what? Obama didn't send me an invitation to the White House. Trump did. But I went to the White House. And I had the ability to respond. And I went to the White House because people that look like me built that White House and never got an opportunity to go inside. I know what the inside of it looked like. I'm not watching it on TV from Tyler Perry's replica of the White House. I've been in there. I've been in there. I was chosen to go in there as a representative of people who look like me because someone noticed my ability to respond in different situations where it wasn't always favorable to me. And somebody paid attention and said, you know what, Jay? You've been brought to my attention as a game changer in the world of entrepreneurship for your people. So because of that, we're offering you a seat at the table. That's how I'm telling you, it's your ability to respond that will change how we're treated in this country. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I've experienced. I'm telling you what goes on in my inbox. I'm telling you what I've experienced in this life, and it's real, and I don't pretend to think that injustices don't happen. I'm not pretending that people that don't look like me don't like me. I live in a building where people that don't look like me don't like me, but what I'm saying is it's my ability to respond that has the ability to change the perception of other people when they run across somebody that look like me. I don't want people to look at me and think I'm classy, bougie, ratchet. Even though I have been all of those things and I can be all of those things, but I understand when I walk out my door, I represent every black woman that looks like me, every black little girl, every black boy, every brown boy. I have a responsibility to respond. And I refuse to reinforce negative stereotypes of our people, which is why I would not let them share my video on news outlets. Please be clear. The people who wanted to make me a soundbite on news media talking about lay your babies down were black women that look like me, but out of respect for them, I will not name their names, but trust me, I have receipts. You have to put your purpose before your profit. I could have made a lot of money off of that video. A lot of money off of that video. But I refuse to be a black woman and participate in the demonizing of black people in media. So I'm going to ask you, how will you choose to respond? What videos will you continue to keep sharing that perpetuate the negative images of black people in media, social media? What you sharing on your Facebook page? What you liking? What you sharing? What you sharing in your inbox? What image of us are you perpetuating? That's your responsibility. That's your ability to respond. So when you get angry, make sure you looking in the mirror, is what I'm saying. And a lot of y'all not gonna like it. And guess what? I don't care. Because it's your responsibility. You have the ability to respond any way you want. But what I'm saying is, for me and my house, for me and my temple, I gotta respond from a place of love. And it ain't always easy. It's not. It's not always easy. I faced racism in the face, from going to college to having professors that didn't think that I could earn the grades that I earned, who were intentionally marking test questions wrong that were right, but because I was trusting them, I wasn't going back and checking my papers. And when I went back and checked the papers, I had to go and get the handbook and fight her with the student handbook for the university. Yeah, I understand racism. I didn't go to my very first college graduation because of racism. But now I stand in front of you as a PhD candidate going to school to get my doctorate. So I understand racism, and I understand it's real, and I understand that it's the same thing over and over. But you know what? You have a responsibility. You have an ability to change how you respond. And Deanna, boo, I love you, but you can actually go to the block party. You're free to feel however you want to feel, but on this platform, we bold, we outspoken, we unapologetic, we're goodwill. Please don't forget the G. We're inspiring and we're epic every day. We gotta be all of that. We gotta be all of that. We gotta love on each other. We gotta love on each other. Love is why people are marching and protesting. But what I'm saying is we can channel that love in a different way. We can channel that love in a different way. And I'm saying we all in this together. I get it. I understand. I promise you I do. But like I said, 4 years ago, we was protesting and marching and nothing changed. However, we had several elections that weren't the presidential election that we had the ability to respond. We had the ability to vote for mayors who appoint police chiefs. We did. We had the ability to vote in elections that seat judges. We did. We had the ability to vote in elections that chooses the district attorney. We did. We had the ability to vote in congressional elections that choose the electoral college who decided whether presidents get impeached or not. We did. And at each one of those opportunities, I'm going to ask you, how did you respond? How did you exercise your responsibility? How? You have a responsibility. You have the ability to respond. That's what makes this nation great. We have the ability to respond. How will you continue to choose to respond is all I'm asking you. The choice is yours. I'm indifferent on how you choose to respond. I'm just asking you to choose to respond and then be okay with your choice. And understand every choice you make has consequences. That's all I'm saying. I feel y'all. My heart is heavy. My heart is heavy because in 4 years, where have we gotten? We're still doing the same thing. We're still at the same place. So my Bougie Club members that don't look like me, I'm asking you to exercise your ability to respond. I fully understand that you have conversations with your friends that we won't be privy to, that you would not feel comfortable having in our company. But as a Bougie Club member, I'm asking you to exercise your ability to respond. It's your choice. And you can respond on behalf of those who can't respond in the rooms that you're in. You can be the voice of love at the table. You can be the voice of love at the table. Because any given Sunday, it could be you. It could be you. Any given Sunday. So how will you choose to respond? How will you choose to exercise your responsibility? I'm asking you to consider choosing responding from a place of love. That's all I got for y'all, Bougie Club. I'm going to get in these comments and respond and try my best to respond from from a place of love, but to do understand I am in block party mode because I will preserve the integrity of this platform and a space for people to feel comfortable to have colorless and uncomfortable conversations from a place of love. As always, I love you all in this life and the next. I'm encouraging you to be bold, outspoken, unapologetic, but more importantly, I want you to be good-willed. I want you to be inspiring, and I want you to be epic every day. Happy 4th Bougieversary. I love you all, and good night.